So today we're going to do a 2005 AutoSleepers symbol. We'll start off on the outside of these with the fuel filler cap. Not affected by the central locking, just a little bit of pressure to open up the main flap. Ignition key in, twist the key first of all, and then twist the cap, and you should be able to then fill up the fuel. Insert back in, and insert the key, and you're ready to go. The bonnet release for these is underneath the steering wheel. So having got that released, you should be able to pull up on the tab. And when you come underneath the bonnet, you've got your engine battery over on this side, your oil filler, brake, radiator water. There's a secondary oil filler point in case that one's inaccessible. And then over on this side, you've got your radiator water and your screen wash just underneath there. Down on the driver's side of the vehicle, but there are a number of features. So you have access for your fresh water filler cap. So twist that one off, hose pipe straight in, and that allows the tank to fill. Beneath that, you'll see there's a pipe hanging down at the moment. That's actually your wastewater drain point. Further in underneath the vehicle, attached to the tank, is the fresh water drain. Important that you need to drain these vehicles down, specifically for winter storage as well. Water heater operates on gas and electric. If you're going to operate it on gas, this is the technique. Put thumbs onto the square, pinch, and pull the cover off, and that exposes the exhaust for the gas water heater. Next to that, you've got your mains hookup point, and then at the back, you've got your ventilation for the fridge. On the rear passenger side of the vehicle, you have your toilet cassette. So when we first open the door, there are two parts. Up at the top, you have a reservoir for the pink solution to go into. This is what flushes the toilet. Take the yellow cap off the top, watering can mixed with some pink solution into that neck just there. As the reservoir is slowly filling up, there is I call it a jug kettle type spirit level moving up the side. For winter storage, you'll need to pull this little tab forward, pull the tube down, direct it away from the vehicle, and that then enables you to drain that reservoir out completely. So that's the flush water system. For the base tank, as long as the lever's shut inside, you should be able to push down on the yellow flap, slide the whole body of the toilet cassette all the way out. On a campsite, you have collection points for these to go into, so take the yellow cap off the top. As you tip it up, press the yellow valve in at the top, and that should then allow the waste to come out to the bottom. Before you load it back in, there's a measuring cup inside the top of these yellow caps. So up to a capful of your base chemical, hopefully green for the Highlands, mixed with about 2 litres of water, and then slide the whole body of the cassette back in, and it's ready for use. So we've moved inside of the van, and above the...
Hold on, can I just stop you for a second, because your nose is appearing in it. So I'll zoom in. Right, okay, get your neb out of there. And in your own time, sir.
So we've moved inside of the van, and above the double doors at the back, you have this 12-volt control panel. You have the option of selecting either the habitation battery or the vehicle battery. For general use, you are going to want to use the habitation battery. Only use the vehicle battery in absolute emergencies. And to engage that battery, you will need to turn on the master switch. You'll see a little red segment appear there. Rocker switch in the middle will give you your battery level indicator as well as your freshwater level indicator, either on the coloured line or the white line below. You have a water pump, which we would recommend that you use on demand, and a master switch for the 12-volt interior lights around the van. So we've moved underneath the cooker now, and you've got a bank of switches and a single switch at the back. Over on the left-hand side, you've got your mains RCD switches. They're all up and engaged at the moment. If you push them down, that will turn the main supply off inside the vehicle. You can do a mains test by lifting up the end switch, pressing the little blue oval, and it should trip out automatically. Adjacent to that is the electric element for the water heater. So if that's on, it'll heat the water up inside the hot water tank over a period of around about 20 to 40 minutes. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. Hidden under the floor, you have got your battery charger and also the water pump side by side. Opposite the cooker, you have your gas locker. Inside is a 3.9 cylinder. These lockers are large enough to take a 6 when you need to change over. Turn the gas on and off via the brass knob on top. So we'll just turn that on so it's all the way through. There is a second isolation point adjacent to the regulator, so at the moment it's in line, it's allowing the gas flow to come through, rotated through 90 degrees, and that will cause gas to be switched off to that appliance. Between the cooker and the fridge you have individual gas isolation points. So they're all in a horizontal position, as the little illustration suggests, so it's allowing the gas supply to go through. If they're rotated through 90 degrees, then it will shut the supply off. We've got the gas turned on and the valves open, so we should then be able to ignite all of the individual burners. If you've just changed over a cylinder, I would recommend this process. It's a good way to purge the gas through and ensure that you haven't got any airlocks in the system, especially if you're trying to light the fridge or the cooker. It's a separate one for the grill. So hold that in for a couple of seconds. It should purge through. Turn that one off for a sec, and then side opening oven door. And to complete the set, we have our oven. These lids don't have isolators on them, so if the system is hot or you've left the thing running and you bring down the lid, it won't cut out. You'll see the condensation building up there. All right, that will cause the glass to explode. So make sure everything's switched off and nicely cooled before you bring the lid down. So at the back of the van, you've also got your fridge. This fridge is a three-way system. It's important with these particular design that you level the van off. So we would recommend that you use wedges to do that. Use a spirit level in conjunction. The more level the van is, the more efficient the fridge will operate. Mains operation is achieved by turning on the green light just there. The higher the number on the thermostat, the colder the fridge will become. If you are in an isolated location and you're wanting to use the fridge on gas, then you have electronic igniter, turn the valve anti-clockwise, hold it in for a couple of seconds. Almost immediately you should see the stop from flashing, and again, the higher the number, the colder the fridge will become. If the gas supply is interrupted, as you'll see the igniter start to re-engage. 12-volt operation comes from the ignition, so you cannot operate it whilst the vehicle is stationary. This light will only illuminate when it's getting a feed from the alternator at the front, and all it will do is maintain the temperature within the fridge. It's not a compressor fridge. It was reliant on you chilling the fridge either on mains or on gas prior to your journey. The release mechanism for the latch, squeeze in on the green tab and it should allow that latch to come up, and then you can open up the fridge door and obviously open up into the freezer section as well. We've moved underneath the bench on the right hand side of the vehicle. There's a poster cap, for want of a better description, that you take out of the way, and if you reach down through, you'll see on the left hand side of this image your drain valve, this little yellow tab. At the moment it's in a horizontal position, so it's allowing water to throw through the water heater. If it's lifted up to a 12 o'clock to a vertical position, then it allows the water heater to be drained out, which is critical for winter storage. Leave your interior taps open in the kitchen, in the bathroom, on the vanity unit, and you should be able to then free drain the whole system down. Earlier on, we set up the water system on this van, so we've already shut the drain valve over inside. It will take a couple of minutes if the tank is completely empty for you to draw water from the fresh water tank all the way through to the taps. Do it on every tap, even if you've got no intention of using the shower, so you have that continuity of supply. You don't want any aeration, any spitting coming out of those taps. Showed you briefly before that you can operate the water heater on mains electric by using the switch next to the mains RCD. If you're operating it on gas, take the cover off on the outside, turn the dial clockwise, and you'll see a green light come on. You may well hear a corresponding click coming from underneath the bed cushion. The green light comes on and remains on, then your water heater is lit on gas. If you see a red light accompany it, it could be that there's no gas supply coming through, or the burner's been suffocated because you haven't removed the cap outside. Thermostat control in the centre. You can increase or decrease the water temperature. This is the only way that you can adjust the water. On the electric side, it's fixed at one particular temperature, and should take around about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on the start temperature in the water tank, for it to heat up. Toilet operation, seat up, twist the lever anti-clockwise to open up the main slider into the base When you push down on this one, you should get your rinse water coming around the inside of the bowl, like so. As the tank is progressively filling up, you'll see this gauge flip over from green to red. The sink is a tip-up sink, so your water will obviously come through from the taps. To empty it, just tip it back gently and it will go into a collection point. Should you need to retrieve anything, you can actually lift the sink out like so. Finally, we've got the cab operation of the vehicle. This is my preferred place to keep the cowl cover for the gas water heater. It's a reminder to you that it needs to go back onto the vehicle for travelling, and you can see from within the vehicle that it's already been removed if you're going to be using the water heater. Main controls are straightforward. So you have over on the left hand side your light switches for dipped and main beam, or back on, and then over on the right hand side you've got your wiper controls, up just for a flick wipe and then down through the sequence for intermittent and speed, and then obviously back for your screen wash. Central controls, you've got your radio CD player, you've got heated mirror controls as well as hazard light switch and a rear fog lamp, your ventilation, temperature and directional controls, along with a 12-volt cigarette lighter, and there's an alternative lower fixed voltage 12-volt socket as well. And around on the driver's door you've got your electric mirror controls, so you just turn the toggle into the direction of the mirror that you want to adjust and then use the joystick accordingly, and then your electric windows are below. So that concludes the handover for this AutoSleepers symbol. Sincerely hope this van's going to give you lots of miles and lots of smiles. On behalf of Hine & Camper Vans, thank you for watching.